Everybody. I don't have an instructional video for you today, but I felt moved to share a little bit about when I started what I'm doing here. Just started as a tile setter, going from just basically being self-employed to owning a business where I'm at today. And I don't have some huge corporation. I'm not a millionaire, but I have come quite a ways from when I started. What was that, 13 years ago. I don't I haven't taken any business classes. I just kind of learned a lot along the way, but looking back, I kind of want to share a little bit. If some of you out there are thinking about, how do I go from just running my day-to-day operations. Maybe you're working out of your garage, going from job to job. Maybe you just have a helper. Maybe you even have a couple employees, but you want to get to that point where you're not doing the actual work, that you're more a manager, an owner of your business. And what I can say is that it's a slow process for me. For me, it was a slow process. I always had the goal, or the dream, I should say, of getting to a point where I wasn't doing the actual work but like I said, it's been 12, 13 years, and I'm just starting to see some success in that area. There was a lot of failures in the beginning when I first started, and maybe I gave too much responsibility to somebody who shouldn't have it, or I did business with people I shouldn't have been doing business with, just because I wanted to get there more quickly than was supposed to happen. So today I have some principles that I think help me, and maybe I can share a little bit with you. Most important thing I think people need to realize is that your success in your business kind of goes hand in hand with your personal success, meaning your values, your attitudes on life. I mean, has a direct impact on what goes on in your business. And for me, both my personal goals and my business goals would be, to me, this life isn't anything without relationships. So for one, in personal and business, you got to have the relationships. And for two, when I leave this place here on earth, if I look my life forward, I say, what do I want to accomplish in this life? I would say it would be a legacy, a lasting impact, a purpose, and leave this world better than when I got here. So if I can apply those principles to both my personal life and my business life, then I believe that. So one thing I like to talk about, and I talk about it with my employees, and it's worked really well for me. I have an acronym. Well, it's not mine. Someone told it to me. RAVE, R-A-V-E, which stands for Respect and Value Everyone. And that was big for me because as a young man growing up, I had some other principles of, I had look out for number one. Was basically like, that's how I thought I had to go into this life. I work hard, I do my thing, and look out for me. I'll do it for me. I'm just going to drive. I'm going to bulldoze my way through this and people and situations. But that didn't work out too well. So this respect and value everyone has been really huge for me. I mean, my clients, when I'd first go to meet a client, no matter who they were, what they looked like, how much money they had, how much they didn't, the first impression of how they came off, I at least had respect for them. I maybe didn't want to work with them, but 90% of the time I did. But I respected them and I valued them, and I started to see them for who they were. That's been big, and that's been big for my employees. Looking at my employees as people who have needs and wants, and they're coming from a different perspective. Respect them, value them, enjoy them, enjoy their presence. That's been big for me in building the relationships. And again, this is for me, I pound into the thing. I want to get rich slow. I don't want to get rich quick, because if I get rich quick, I'm going to bypass all of these relationships that are going to build for the future. So this is a slow process. This is about getting to know people, valuing people, and then things just start to happen. I mean, no, they tell their friends about you. They say, "Oh, I had this wonderful tile setter. You know, he did good work, but he was just really nice to have in the house." And that's how my business grew. And even in the slow times, you know, when we went from, you know, between 2009 and 2011, you know, I was back to working by myself sometimes. And the only thing that carried me through that, the only thing that kept me afloat, was the fact that I had built all these relationships in the past. The word of mouth business had continued to pass on. And even though my employees, I had to let them go for periods of time because I was just so slow, we had built a relationship. So as soon as work picked up, they were ready to drop whatever they were doing and come back to work for me. So the relationships is huge. And again, that's paralleled with my relationship with my wife, learning things about her, learning to respect and value every part of her, and building that relationship. And that's just made us stronger here as well. So that's the relationship part. Now the legacy goes hand in hand with that. Now, what do I want? What do I want to leave my mark? Do I want to just go to a job? Do I want to build somebody a bathroom and just collect a paycheck? If that's the motivation, you know, that would be tough for me. I don't think I could do it and do as good a job as I'd like to do. That's gonna build that business and make me successful. If I go into a job just thinking, hey, I'm just going in here to build it, get a paycheck, and get out of here. No, and one of the cool things about tile work is that it's such a lasting piece of construction. We can build a bathroom, and I mean, styles change, but it's almost like a sculpture. That thing can be there for 100 years. It's tile. It's not going to disintegrate. So what I learned to do is go into jobs thinking not about how much money I was going to make, but how lasting of an impact I can make on this house, this home, and you know, this is my mark. I'm going to leave it. So and so to parallel out with my personal life, I have 4 children. I have 3 daughters and a son, and that's been my whole driving force from here, is how am I going to leave this world a better place for them? How am I going to set them up for the future and have this pass on? I want them to have beautiful, healthy families, you know, down the road. They're all still young. I don't got to think about that yet, but that's where I'm going with it. So I try to tell my employees that too. I say, you know, you guys are getting a paycheck from me, but please don't go into a job thinking about how much money you can make from me. I want you to go into a job and think of how cool of a piece of artwork that you can create for this homeowner that's gonna blow their mind and have them just be filled with wonder at the craft, at the amount of hard work, the labor that you're going to pour into this thing, the heart. I like to call it the heart. Putting that into the job, and then leave that for them. And you know what the bonus is? They write us a big fat check at the end, and everybody's happy. So obviously the money has to come, but I can't stress enough that's just provided. That will just come if these other things are in line. If the relationship part's there, if the legacy part, the mark that you're going to leave, if you're coming from the right place, if you're coming from your heart, that stuff is going to work out. And so I don't know. This is the way it's worked out. Again, I'm not a millionaire. I can't write a book yet. I haven't arrived to the place I want to be. But we're doing well. I mean, this has been a dream. We opened a retail tile shop in the end of 2012, and again, this is a time we were still in the recession. We're starting to come out of it now here in California, but times were tough. the vacancy in the complex we're at here was 50%. Only half of the buildings were occupied. And I was telling people, hey, I have this dream. I want to start a tile shop. The time just feels right to me. And people were telling me I was crazy. They're like, wow, man, where are you going to get the money? How are you going to make this happen? The economy's this, that, and that. I said, you know what? I just have a feeling. I had all these relationships built. I consulted with people that had done it before. I went and asked 5 or 6 people that were very successful in the tile industry about how they did it. Did my research, just had a good feeling. I drew on all my contacts from when I started 12, 13 years ago, and I just have a long list of people that I'd built relationships that were willing to help. And even though banks weren't willing to help me, I had others that were willing to help me get this thing go, and not just financially. I mean, just support, the overall feeling, wanting to work with me, wanting to do business with me. That was there. So now where we're at, it's been incredible. We've done really well. We're up to 3 crews right now, and we're selling quite a bit of tile out of our tile shop. So anyways, I don't know if that helps anybody. I hope it does. One of my dreams is to just kind of give back what I've learned as far as running a business and how to get there. So if you have any questions about how I did it, just ask me. And a lot of it was, for me, was coming to know for myself that I'm worth it. That hey, I deserve this. If I want it, I deserve it, and I deserve to live in abundance and get all the other crap out of my head that's telling me that I can't do it. Getting the people out of my life that say, hey, you're not good enough, you can't do it. And so this has been my journey, and I'd love to share it. So keep on keeping on. I like to say the coffee is worth the grind. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's commitment, it's pouring your whole life into it. But for me, it's been worth it, and not only in the business end of it, but the personal side of it. My what I would call personal success, completely aside from the business, has completely come together because of kind of a shift in the way I looked at things, And anyways, beautiful thing. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope I can help you in some way, and we'll see you soon.